Well, Zola made changes from the 1-1 draw at Middlesbrough last week. Scott Parker returned from a calf injury to replace Hayden Mullins in midfield. And Lee Bowyer replaces Jack Collison also in midfield. Everton made 3 changes from the 1-0 win over Fulham last Saturday. Louis Saha came in for Yakubu, who is out with a heel injury. Victor Anichebe came in for suspended Marouane Fellaini. And Jack Rodwell replaced injured Stephen Pienaar. Your commentators at Upton Park, Dean Sturridge and Tony Jones.
So having collected 7 points from a maximum 9 in the last 3 games, a fixture against West Ham is one that Everton should relish. Historically, Everton have never had it so good as when they're up against these opponents. Most Premier League points in total, 46, most goals, 45, and most wins. They even put them out of the Carling Cup last season. These two teams meeting on 3 occasions last season. Everton with Sahar in attack for them. Malunga with a header clear. And West Ham struggling to get the ball clear. There's an opportunity here in the very first minute, almost. Anichebe and Sahar threatening immediately. Kale Obzoa. It's come to Sahar. Well, Louis Sahar, who was on target for the first time for Everton last weekend. Long overdue a goal after his move from Manchester United in the summer.
Already in the first minute, the threat has been shown by Everton. Good strike by Sahar. Unfortunately for him, it just drifts wide. It's a good layoff by Cahill and a decent strike, but never really threatening in the end.
Louis Sahar, who scored for Everton last weekend. Everton, who've won their last 2 games with late goals. West Ham United desperate for a win. Here's Bellamy. Determined work by Boamorte, operating on the left side of midfield here for West Ham. Started only 3 Premier League games, Luis Boamorte, but left in the starting 11 by Gianfranco Zola, feeling that Boamorte gives him a little bit more balance down the left-hand side with Bowyer and Parker together again in the centre of midfield. Here's Neil. Neil mixed the fixtures against Arsenal and Manchester United because of a virus. Now Parker. Parker again, who's had a go. Howard at full stretch, and Howard managed to get a fingertip to that.
Good play by West Ham. Good save in the end by Howard this time. Scott Parker, 20 yards out, pulls the trigger, and it's a good touch by Howard. Had to be saved, and he did it well.
West Ham here being inventive, and they've won a further corner kick. Boamorte drops short then. What can West Ham conjure up here? Howard made that splendid save to deny Scott Parker. The flick on is a good one. Collins in there at the near post. West Ham looking for a further corner, and they've got one. Took a deflection on the way through.
Yeah, James Collins got away from Joseph Yobo, and then in the end from Sahar, flicked it over. It must have just taken a slight glance off Sahar's head for the resultant corner.
Bellamy across again to take this corner kick. Collins with a move to the near post. Didn't quite get to Alunga. It's Boamorte who was following up. West Ham applying a lot of early pressure here.
It is, it's a good response. Everton started well.
Parker again. Fullback. Gianfranco Zola had a terrific start to his West Ham United career. Ham and Zola beginning with a couple of wins, but then a sequence of 4 defeats. They picked up that point, that important point as well, at the Riverside against Middlesbrough last weekend.
I'm sure it's interesting for Gianfranco Zola, the striker, the great striker that he was. I'm sure he wants to play an open, attractive, expansive game, but the problem for him will be to marry that with winning games.
Well gathered by Green, put under pressure there by Saha. Distribution as well from the West Ham goalkeeper is good to try and find Julien Faubert. Faubert again. It has been a big plus for West Ham to have Faubert fit again this season.
It's a good race. It's a little push in the end by Arteta, and the right decision. Although he's throwing his arms up, he's unhappy with the decision. It's a right one by Mark Halsey.
Bellamy over this free kick. Neil has gone forward, joined by Upson and Collins. Hopped on again by Lunga. Lunga once more. Confronted by Neville. Under the Congolese international. Currently on loan from Toulouse of France. Parker, who's been absent for West Ham's last 2 fixtures. Here's Bowyer, who's been absent for much of the season. On again by Neil. Some really good movement there from West Ham. Cross was intended for the in-running Bellamy, but Sears eager to make an impression.
It was good bit of play from him. Haven't seen much of the lad. He's a young boy. The fans will be happy to see him play. It's a good twist inside, good ball into a good area, and he'll be disappointed that his teammates ain't looking to get on the end of it there at the back post.
Freddie Sears, just 18 years of age. He's not 19 until the end of November. Fantastic goal-scoring record of both youth and reserve status at West Ham. 25 he managed last season. Here's Neville. And again by Anichebe. Collins looks for Bellamy. Upson stood on the ball, and Parker is there to ease it back to his goalkeeper. Could have been a nasty moment that for Matthew Upson. Anichebe, who came on for Stephen Pienaar against Fulham, scored on his only other Premier League start this season. 3-2 success that Everton enjoyed at Stoke in the middle of September.
I'm sure David Moyes had a decision. It was interesting to know if you'd put him up front alongside Saha. He's declined that, put him in this wide right position. I'm sure the likes of him and Cahill, who are playing just in behind Saha, will be looking to join up with him very quickly. But the defensive manager that David Moyes is, the instincts that he has, that the ex-defender that he was when he was a player. He's kept 2 clean sheets in the last couple of games, and he's gone safety first initially, and he can always go to that 4-4-2 scenario if needs be later in the game.
Everton have tightened up defensively. They've conceded 19 goals, like West Ham United and Stoke. Only Blackburn Rovers, who've let in 20, have conceded more so far this season. And yet Everton conceded 33 in total last season. A record that was only improved by the top 4, the big 4. Now Housley took charge of 2 of the fixtures between West Ham and Everton last season. Met 3 times, twice in a week just before Christmas. One of those in the Carling Cup. Here's Saha. Couldn't quite get there. Upson with a headed clearance. Helped on again by Bournemorte. Then Bowyer. Faubert. Here's Parker. He's just leaned on then by Cahill.
Cahill may complain, but it was a sloppy challenge just in the back of Parker. Right decision again by the referee.
Howard's still organising his defensive wall. Bellamy is having a look at this free kick. Going to get the blast from Bellamy, or is he going to tee it up here for Parker? Parker has already tested Howard with one long-range effort. It is Bellamy. He was looking for Collins, who was coming in behind Upson then.
Again, Collins managed to get his head on the end of it though. The man-for-man marking this time, it was Anachibi that was marking Collins. Okay, he didn't hit the target, but I'm sure David Moyes will be saying they can't be winning these headers in our 18-yard box so easily.
Everton, whose away form is better than their form currently at Goodison Park. They've suffered just one away defeat, a 3-1 loss at Arsenal. 4 defeats in total in the Premier League for Everton. Howard immediately put under pressure there by young Sears. Exuberance of youth. He is keen to make an impact.
He has everything he's done so far, he's done it well. And it gets the fans behind his team as well. Chasing lost causes, that infectious enthusiasm will thread throughout the team.
Tim Howard, who here is playing his 100th game for Everton. 98 of them have been in the Premier League now. Cahill. Oh, he was sliding in then to ensure that Cahill was unable to test Green. Here's Osman. Now Rodwell, the 17-year-old. Lescott couldn't find Cahill. Bellamy offside. Just trying to get in behind Jagielka then.
It's pretty tight. Craig Bellamy's frustrated. He feels it was the wrong decision. And I agree with him. He was onside there. It's a poor decision from the assistant referee. It's not a hard decision. You can see the Everton defender Jagielka right in front of him that's playing him onside. And that's unfortunate there for Craig Bellamy.
Craig Bellamy, who scored on his return from injury in a 4-1 success over Blackburn Rovers, but he has now gone 6 games without a goal. Eased back gently by West Ham after what has been a difficult 12 months. Don't forget that West Ham have other injury concerns, long-term injury concerns. Dean Ashton has had further surgery. Kieran Dyer, another one who's on the sidelines.
They're big losses, real huge losses, especially Dean Ashton is your focal point for your team. He's your one that you build things off and play up to him, and you know he's going to get hold of it, and it's a major loss. And even worse, it's also Carlton Cole is another player who could do that role, and they've lost him for the last 3 games, and I'm sure it's affected their play, and Craig Bellamy would like to play with the likes of those 2 players.
Cole serving the 3rd game of a 3-game ban currently. Upson's challenge. At this time by Collins. And Everton have the free kick.
It's a bit cheap. Collins feels he's got over the top of Arteta, and he feels Arteta has gone down very easily. The arms on the shoulder could maybe complain a little bit about that Arteta, but he has made a little bit of a meal of it, but he gains the free kick from it.
Arteta fouled by Collins. And this is Arteta range. West Ham wall has been pushed further back. Green fidgeting on the goal line. Arteta, who scored for Everton on the opening day from a free kick against Blackburn Rovers. West Ham wall did its job. And again by Jagielka. Fullback. Now Bormorta. Here's Bowyer, looking for a Lunga. And he should be back and sliding in.
He's going to be asked to do that a lot today, and Ichibi does it well there. It was good passing movement by West Ham there. But Ichibi did his defensive job well in the end.
There's a problem here for Matt Upson. This will be a worry for Gianfranco Zola. Upson, whose West Ham United debut and Aston Villa was cut short after only half an hour, having signed from Birmingham City. That's the best part of 2 years with injury. Pelvis and Achilles problems at Birmingham, and then that calf problem as soon as he joined West Ham United. This, though, looks as though it could be the thigh. And it may well be that West Ham are forced into making a first-half substitution.
It is, it's a worry when a player goes down injured, when there's no challenge and he just goes down all of his own accord. He has had a history of injuries, Matthew Upson. That have been a problem throughout his career. Maybe it may have been a challenge when he went up with a Ichibi earlier. I'm not convinced by that. But if that is the reason why he's gone down injured, they look a very worried staff at the moment. He goes up and gets above an Ichibi, doesn't land awkwardly. You don't see anything there. And it seems as if it may be a stretcher has been called in.
It did look so innocuous. It was as he came down, wasn't it? It was almost as though he kept all his weight on his right leg, but either way, it does look very much as though West Ham will be forced into making a first-half change here. Matthew Upson off on a stretcher. Gianfranco Zola forced to have a rethink here in the first half. There will be a further opportunity, however, for Jack Collison. Collison left out of the starting 11 after being in the team against Middlesbrough. Upson clearly in trouble. West Ham will want to make that substitution before they take this throw in.
He has the option of maybe putting Lucas Neal into the centre-half position.
Here comes Collison, the 20-year-old then, to replace Upson. Ironic, really, because Matt Upson was back in the England team because of the injury to John Terry just ahead of the last round of World Cup qualifiers. Helped on by Lunga.
And that's what he is going to do. He's putting Lucas Neal into the centre-half position. Julian Forbear will probably have to drop back into the right full-back position and Bowyer out in the wide position, and Collinson will go into that centre midfield position. It's not what Gianfranco Zola wanted so early in the game, but hopefully his players can respond. There's quality players out there, and I'm sure they'll adapt to it.
It is Neal alongside Collins. Forbear has played as a right-back. He says he's comfortable with that position. Played in the early days of his French career with Caen. Osman. Now Philip Neville to deliver the cross. Collins got the shout from Green, who's eager to get West Ham moving again. Parker. Here's Bellamy. Sears just ahead of it. Malunga to provide the width and to provide the cross. It's Sears. Did just about everything right then. It was a terrific step to take him away from Jagielka. Impressive approach play by West Ham United, and an important intervention as well by young Sears.
It is, it's a good whipped-in ball by Ilunga. He gets a decent first touch and the second one gets away from him, but that helps him in getting away from Jagielka. And when he gets around him, you're just looking for him to pick out a teammate in the box. Unfortunately, it just drifts out.
Conditions here at Upton Park will favour the players with pace. Raining heavily for much of the day, real zip off this surface. And Ichibi with a cross. Out by Collins. Here's Lescott.
I'm sure that, as I said, Gianfranco Zola has willing players who want to work for him. Collins now just talking to his teammates, talking about how they're going to adapt. It's a problem for him. It's his major centre-half, the one with height in Upson. He's a leader, so his team will miss him.
Anton Ferdinand, of course, has left West Ham for Sunderland. Danny Gabidon is another long-term casualty. Gabidon with a groin problem. Another Welsh international defender, as is Collins. Another Welshman in attack, Craig Bellamy.
Been unfortunate again there, Craig Bellamy. Kicked it at him from 3 or 4 yards. It hits his hands, not intentional.
Bellamy feeling hard done by. Everton build again with Philip Neville. Ilunga penalised. It will be a free kick this to Everton.
It's clever by Anichebe. Ilunga protests that he's not pulling at his shirt. But he's got an armful of it there, Ilunga. And Anichebe plays for it and is clever to attain the free kick.
It's a free kick that Arteta will take. Yobo Ford, joined by Lescott. Lescott yet to score this season. Top scoring defender in the Premier League last season. In by Arteta. Well defended by Collins. Here's Osman now for Everton. Parker.
Well defended, wasn't it, by Collins? I'm sure his manager's very happy. He's winning headers from set pieces in both penalty areas, and that all goes well for the team performance.
James Collins, who only played 3 games in the Premier League for West Ham last season, another one who picked up a nasty injury, damaged cruciate knee ligaments in a reserve game in January. Here's Neville. Parker. Now Sears. On again towards Bellamy. It's Bellamy with a shot when maybe might have picked out the pass then.
It's good counter-attacking play again though from this West Ham side. Sears at the centre of it. Good touch. And then he has the awareness to put in Craig Bellamy. Cuts across Joelyn Lescott. But it's good defending in the end by Lescott.
Good defending by Lescott. Bowyer was screaming for the pass then. Sears almost on the goal line. Bellamy with this corner kick, fisted away there by Howard. Slipped there by Bournemouth. Osman fouled. Everton wondering why they didn't have the advantage.
I think they'll take that free kick. They're in a defensive area. Bournemouth is late with the challenge. It's the right decision.
Lescott looking for Saha. Hammered away by Ilunga.
Yeah, the Congolese defender did well there. He smelt the threat of Anichebe and covered his centre-halves well there.
Ilunga on loan from Toulouse, previously had been with Saint-Etienne in France. Rodwell's long-range blast, the 17-year-old. He's been capped by England at both under-16, under-17 and under-19 international level now. by Collis. Bellamy eager. Here's Ilunga. Collison again. Now Beaumonte. Came to him very quickly and he was never quite over the shot then, Lewis Beaumonte.
It fell to the wrong boot. I'm sure everybody knows he's got a sweet left boot. As Collinson goes on a driving run, and when it pops out off Joseph Yobo, it's on that unfavoured right foot, and he gets it horribly wrong.
It was Beaumonte who last scored for West Ham in a 3-0 win at Wigan when they were struggling to keep their place in the Premier League season before last. Here's Saha. Green untroubled.
It's good to see him back in the Premier League though, isn't he? He's a Premier League striker, a very, very good striker when he's fit. I'm sure he just wants to run a games, Louis Saha, that's what he needs.
So Trevor Brooking here this afternoon, one of the West Ham United greats. Now looking at the development of the Football Association. Amongst the youngsters who'll be catching his eye, certainly Everton's Jack Rodwell.
And I'm sure Freddie Sears, he was in the England under-19 European Championships with my nephew Daniel, and he looked a very promising striker, and it's good to see him now showing his talents in the Premier League. Good defending again by Ilunga. It's been a good battle between Anichebe and the Congolese defender, and he comes out on top this time, and it's good defending.
Bellamy again gives chase.
David Moyes will be happy at this moment. They haven't been much of a threat as yet, this West Ham opposition, and it's a good away performance so far. His team have scored late in their last 2 games, so the longer he is at 0-0, the happier he will be as a manager, because he knows his team have got it in them, that they'll go till the 92nd, 93rd minute. Sears has been a problem for him. He's been popping up in areas behind Bellamy, but at this moment I'm sure he's very happy with how his team are defending defensively generally.
Sears, who scored all 4 goals for West Ham reserves recently against West Bromwich Albion. Bellamy managed to get away from Yobo. Here's Collison. Now Parker. Bellamy again. West Ham looking for some width. And it wasn't ahead of Craig Bellamy. There was only the possibility of picking out Fobot on the far side then.
It's a surprise, Craig Bellamy's moaning. He's unhappy about something again.
Everton have conceded just 1 goal in their last 3 games. They've certainly tightened up defensively. Put under pressure now by Sears. Another fine run by Sears. Helped on by Bellamy, looking for Beaumonte. It's Bellamy! Ball was setting up for him, but he couldn't keep the shot on target.
He'll be disappointed. It's that man Sears again, getting on the end of it, providing a cross into the area. Decent touch by Bellamy, and it falls back out to him from 18 yards. Although it's a volley that he'll expect to hit the target with.
Pace of Sears causing Everton 1 or 2 problems. Sahana, challenged there by Ilunga. And he's showing that he's relishing the confrontation with both Saha and Anichebe. And again, Saha is unable to deliver the cross. Beaumonte. Saha showing his frustration then as he just clipped away at Beaumonte's ankles.
Yeah, I think it's also from the challenge before. It was a strong challenge from Ilunga. Zaha tries to get his own back, but those are the kind of challenges that are a catalyst for the team and for these West Ham fans to cheer.
Neville. Now Osman. Neville again. Lunga loses out to an Ichibi this time. Jagielka. Now Lescott. Jagielka and Lescott playing their 300th game today. Both have made 300 league appearances. Both are 26. And both have been almost ever present for Everton this season. Here's Bellamy. What an effort! Fabulous thump by Freddie Sears after the initial run by Craig Bellamy.
They've combined on many occasions already. Bellamy and Sears. This time brilliant play by Bellamy. A good layup and a good strike from Freddie Sears. Dummies Yobo. And he falls for it, gets to the other side, and then he's got the awareness to pick out Sears. And it's a great save from Tim Howard to tip it onto the crossbar and then over.
Freddie Sears eager to do for West Ham at first team level what he's done already for the youth team and the reserves. Bellamy now with this corner kick. Angle was all wrong then for Neil, and Howard grateful to hold on.
He did well to get on the end of this, Lucas Neil. It's a free header. In the end, it's not as threatening as he would have liked. I feel that'll be the frustrating thing for David Moyes, amongst other things, in that they're being allowed free headers in his 18-yard box, and eventually they may take advantage of it, this West Ham attack.
West Ham certainly playing with increasing confidence. Bellamy now feeling that he's back to full health. He's found a bit more sharpness after that long layoff. So simply eager to make an impression, given his chance by Gianfranco Zola, the 18-year-old in attack. Scored on his West Ham debut as a substitute against the Blackburn Rovers back in March. Still awaits his first Premier League goal this season. Parker again doing the prompting. Fobak. Cleverly done by Collison. Here's Paul Morton. Now Parker. Lunga has made the run for him, and Parker has been able to pick out Lunga.
Good defending though from Jagielka. Sense the danger.
Bellamy. Looking for Sears.
Sure, the only disappointing thing for Gianfranco Zola is that his West Ham side are playing so well and look a threat with Bellamy and Sears in the attack, but they haven't been able to get that elusive goal.
Bellamy with a shot over the top. Sears with a shot against the crossbar. Front two causing problems here for Everton. West Ham have also had to cope with the first half departure of Matthew Upson, off injured. It's meant that Lucas Neil is now in the centre of defence, and it looks very much as though Lee Bowyer felt that challenge.
You have to say, it hasn't disrupted them thus far. They've adapted well as a home side, played confidently and aggressively, being on the front foot, and as I said, the only reward that's missing is the goal.
Yobo stretching, and Howard holding on. Joseph Yobo, a Nigerian international, like Ichibi and Yakubu. Ichibi went to the Olympic Games. Nigeria winning the silver medal. Rodwell. Foba. Striding away from Cahill. If only momentarily.
I feel the likes of Sahar and Ichibi, Cahill and Arteta, they haven't been able to get on the football enough for this Everton side so far, and frustration is mounting for the offensive players.
Not by Jagielka. Here's Parker. Now Bellamy. He's looking to pick out the return pass there for Parker. Foba. Jagielka again to clear. Collison. Now Lunga. Looking for Bournemorte. Collison again. And he's starting to get just a bit too tight there for West Ham. Sears. Now Bournemorte. Back again with Sears. Flagger stayed down. And it was Neville who made the block.
Keeps on popping up into those little areas though. Craig Bellamy gives him a little slap on the head and says, well done, continue to make those runs. Phil Neville's trying to up the tempo of his troops. He's unhappy with how they're performing so far.
Collins and Neil both set. In again by Bellamy. Knocked away by Sahar. Had to wait a while for his first appearance for Everton as well, having made the switch from Manchester United. Arteta argues, but it is a free kick to West Ham United. It's one that they've taken quickly. Collison shot charged down. David Moyes clearly not happy. Bournemorte. Away from Neville. Picked out the run of Bowyer there. Here's Neil. Challenged by his Australian international teammate Cahill. Collison. Now Parker. Foba. Terrific run by Foba. Nothing at the end of it.
It was initially, showed great skill and great endeavour to get up the field, and when you're looking for that moment of quality, couldn't provide it.
On by Sahar. Now Cahill.
It's probably the first time they've combined today. Good layoff by Sahar.
Everton, who didn't dip into the transfer market until just before the window closed at the end of August. Fellaini came in, so too Sahar and Jakobsen, who's on the injured list at the moment, and the goalkeeper Carlo Nash. Castillo, another one who's come in on loan. Here's Neil. Jagielka with Bellamy. Bellamy once more. Sears to his right. He's picked out Sears, who in turn has found Bellamy. Good recovery there by Jagielka. Everton at the moment struggling to cope. Struggling to get to grips with either Freddie Steers or Craig Bellamy, and also the running from Parker and Bowyer.
I think it's because of their movement also. Sears and Bellamy combining well again. In the end, he gets it all wrong with the cross Bellamy. But I think it's been the movement to the front two. It's been last-ditch tackles from Jagielka and Yobo to keep it goalless.
Everton, who were 5th in the Premier League at the end of last season, managed it with their highest ever Premier League points total of 65. Struggled to make any real impression in this game so far, and struggled to get their season going in truth. They've gone 3 games without defeat, but their success at Bolton was their first in 6 in the Premier League. What do you feel that David Moyes will be saying to his team at half-time?
I think he's just made a little slight change where he's brought Arteta to this right flank now. Put Anichebe to the left side.
Elunga. Now Bellamy. Elunga again. Arteta holding off Bellamy.
He's done well defensively there, but I think David Moyes will be looking for a little bit more offensively, and that's why he's probably switched wings with those 2 players and looking for Cahill to get on that ball a little bit more. We haven't seen enough of him yet. Or Louis Saha.
Everton not helped by the injuries to Tina and also to Yakubu. Fellaini suspended for this game. Fellaini was Everton's big summer signing during the summer, having featured for Standard Liège in European Cup qualifying. Clausen started against Middlesbrough last weekend, his first start in the West Ham first team. Bournemorte. On again by Bournemorte, there's a chance here now, and it's one this time which West Ham are unable to take. Sears again was put through then by Bournemorte.
Given away cheaply by Anichebe. Bournemorte takes advantage, and it's a clever ball in between the defenders. It's a great opportunity. It's clever play by Bournemorte, puts it in between the defenders, one-on-one Sears. You have to say, you'd like him to do a little better. He's got to aim for that far post, so he's definitely got to make a save from Tim Howard, and he does neither there.
So he's starting for the 2nd time this season. He's already drilled 1 shot against the crossbar, perhaps had a bit too much time to think about that. Maybe even caught Parker out the corner of his eye, who was well placed inside the Everton 6-yard area. Arteta. Now Saha. Is Osman following up?
Never threatening, to be honest, that strike. Forced Saha, good hold-up play. Clever play by Arteta. And then when he gets a deflection, it falls to Osman. It's good defending, to be fair, from Collins, who throws himself and makes it difficult for the shot from Osman.
Osman has scored 3 goals in the Premier League this season. His last was in the defeat at Arsenal in mid-October. Everton's 1 away defeat this season. He will get there just ahead of Anichebe. Elunga. Here's Parker. Now Bowyer. Sears again. Not afraid to have a go, and that shot was deflected by Jagielka and will be picked up by Howard. Well, Upson has been forced off during the first half already, and now there's a problem for Scott Parker, who, like Matthew Upson, has had a terrible time with injuries since arriving at West Ham.
He's lost one player from the spine of his team already in Upson. He definitely doesn't want to lose Scott Parker.
Well, we are to have 2 extra minutes at the end of the first half. We'll have a bit more now. Parker, who's had this calf problem, he has missed the last 2 Premier League games for West Ham.
It's just when he plays the ball, and it's a worry again, because it's pretty similar to the Upson injury, very innocuous, and all of a sudden he pulls up sharply.
Knee problem blighted his first season at West Ham. It restricted him to just 18 games in total.
Physio's given the thumbs up, so he looks like he'll definitely be able to continue.
Won't be too long before he's able to pass on those instructions to everybody, Gianfranco Zola. And stoppage time now at the end of the first half.
The only frustrating thing for him will be that he's still 0-0. He'll know his team have played very well and just have not been rewarded with that elusive goal.
Sarr is away from Ilunga this time. Collins with the initial clearance, helped out eventually by Ilunga. Everton eager to get on with the game. Here's Arteta. Crosses an exceptional one. It's one which has been well dealt with by the West Ham defence. Coped really well with the absence of Upson. Forced off injured early on. Parker, who's just received some treatment and who is back on, who seems to be running very, very freely. And he'd spotted the run as well of Bellamy just ahead of him then. Here's Neville. Cahill looking there for Zaha. Another throw to Everton. Collins marshalling West Ham at the back alongside Neil. Neville with the throw. Easily dealt with by Collins. So between them so far this season, these two teams have conceded 38 goals. Nobody could find a way through during the first half at Upton Park. Freddie Sears coming closest for West Ham with a shot which was turned away onto the crossbar by Tim Howard. It was a terrific save, and at half-time at Upton Park, it is West Ham United 0, Everton 0. Everton then get the second half underway. West Ham United, who made that change during the first half. Matthew Upson going off with a dead leg, so not as serious perhaps as first thought. And the good news for West Ham is that Scott Parker is out for the second half too, after moving around gingerly at the end of the opening 45 minutes. And it's Parker who's on the ball here. Felber, full stretch to keep the ball in play. And he's given it straight to Mikel Arteta. Helped on by Zaha. Here's Rodwell. Now Jagielka. Everton much better defensively in recent weeks after a dreadful start to the season. West Ham also looking for some improvement. Started brightly after Gianfranco Zola took charge, but 4 defeats before that draw at Middlesbrough last weekend.
I'm sure Gianfranco Zola saying more of the same. Boys played exceptionally well in that first half. Just continue with what you're doing.
Here's Bellamy. And by Bowyer. Fisted away by Howard, who made that terrific first half save to stop Freddie Sears. Arteta. And Ichibi. West Ham was sure that the ball went out of play then. Helped on by Lescott. Rodwell challenged by Parker. West Ham have the throw.
It's a good whipped-in ball again by Bowyer. Howard comes to claim the challenge from Collison, but he punches it clear well there in the end. Good goalkeeping.
2 shutouts in his last 2 games as well for Tim Howard, against both Bolton and also against Fulham. Wonderful run that by Lunga. It's back in there towards the impressive Sears.
Good attacking play again. Congolese defenders have always been on the front foot throughout the game. Chooses to pick out a good pass there to Bellamy. Bellamy's looking for his teammate again. That striking partner, Sears. They've combined well throughout the game. It's good awareness by Bellamy. He's looking up for Sears, picks him out. Sears gets on the end of it. Unfortunately for him, it's good defending by Jagielka.
Freddie Sears knows that he'll never be short of advice from Craig Bellamy. Bellamy's certainly one of the most talkative players in the Premier League. Here's Neil, who's currently negotiating a new contract with West Ham United. Moved to the centre of defence alongside James Collins following the first half substitution. Upson forced off. Arteta. Challenge there by Bowyer. A bit more steel in the centre of the West Ham midfield with Bowyer alongside Parker. Here's Faubert, who showed his adaptability by dropping in at right back following the substitution. On by Collison. Collison again the first to react. Back come Everton now with Cahill. Rodwell. Not short of confidence, the 17-year-old. He knew exactly what he wanted to do then. He tried to curl it beyond the reach of Green into the top corner. Yeah,
Cahill was initially fortunate for the ball to drop out to him. Comes out to Rodwell. Tries, you can see what he's trying to do. He's a good up-and-coming young player. Lots of thought of him. I'm sure he'll have a big England career as well as an Everton career.
Faubert was looking for Elunga on the far side. Ichibi was across to ensure that the ball didn't reach the Congolese international. West Ham again eager to get on with the game. Given away by Barmorta. Elunga has made an impressive start to his West Ham career. At the moment he's here for a season on loan from Toulouse. Curtis, of course, left complaining that some of West Ham United's transfer decisions had been made without his say-so and consultation with the manager.
Sure what these West Ham fans are getting under Zola, as you've seen today, is an open attacking front foot football, players working for one another. Sure they'd like a goal. That would be the icing on the cake of this performance. But there's a good strategy and a good team play and a good work ethic about his team. And that's why in the press he's talking continuously about how well his team are performing, although they're not getting the results at the moment.
He's all delighted with the way in which Sears and Bellamy combined at Middlesbrough last weekend. run of 4 straight defeats, a draw for West Ham United. Belunga, the support from Bournemouth. Here is Bournemouth. Belunga again. Bellamy waiting for the cross, joined by Sears. Collison also in there. And again by Bournemouth. Easy this time for Howard.
I think that's where Everton are happier. When he goes into those wide areas, you don't expect them to be beaten by a cross into the box when you've got the likes of Bellamy and Sears in the middle.
Sears. Bournemouth now, taking on Neville.
Gets it wrong there, Bournemouth, but I think he knows himself. It's got to be a great whipped-in ball, and it's generally got to be more hard and low, because the targets, they're not high in stature, the likes of Bellamy and Sears, so it puts more pressure on the player that's got to whip that ball into the area.
Of course, a Portuguese international, featured at the World Cup 2 years ago, and Carlos Queiroz, the Portuguese coach, the former Manchester United assistant, is here this afternoon. Gianfranco Zola, who's turned his back on international football, having assisted Italy at under-21 international level, to get his chance back in London again with West Ham. Osman, now Neville. Cahill very deep, looking here for Rodwell. Cahill once more. Now Lescott. Arteta. 4 to pick out if he can deliver the cross. Arteta again. This time he has managed to get the ball inside the West Ham United penalty area. And under pressure from Cahill, Green couldn't hold on, but the West Ham goalkeeper was fouled.
He was. The challenge came in. And Cahill. Robert Green does his job properly, comes to claim the cross, and you know when there's any kind of challenge in there, you know the referee's going to blow his whistle.
Robert Green, who has had some anxious moments this season, he blamed himself for the opening goal against Bolton Wanderers here when West Ham were beaten 3-1, a goal scored by Kevin Davis. Phil Neville. And Ichibi. Everton have the free kick, much to Bournemouth's surprise. It's one which Osman wants to take quickly. Everton will be more of a threat if they leave it to Arteta. Lescott in there together with Saha and Cahill. Jagielka also on the edge of the penalty area. Been held behind for a corner kick.
Good whipped-in ball by Arteta. No surprise for me to tell you that Collins is the one who gets his head on the end of it and defends well.
Saha and Anichebe both on the goal line, just ahead of Robert Green. Arteta is set. It's tight to the goalkeeper, and Green couldn't get there. It was a great chance for Everton. Rodwell in there together with Jagielka, and he might have been the youngster who got the final touch.
It was Rodwell on the end, and if he hits the target, he scores, he gets on the end of it. It shows good bravery and good physical strength to get in between the defenders, and he's disappointed that he hasn't broken the deadlock there, Rodwell.
Jack Rodwell still awaiting his first Premier League goal for Everton. Signed his first professional contract on his 17th birthday. It's been some season for him. Made his first start for Everton on the opening day of the season when they lost 3-2 to Blackburn Rovers. West Ham poised to make a second change. Matthew Etherington is set to come on. He'll come on in place of Luis Boamorte here. That was confirmation as Estrada, our fourth official, holds up the illuminated board.
Put in a good shift. Luis Boamorte played in a few clever balls for Sears. I think what it shows about Gianfranco Zola, when he identifies something in bringing on Matthew Etherington like for like. He hasn't played Aidan Mullins today after scoring last week. If he feels a player or a change needs to be made, he's brave enough to do it.
West Ham looking to utilise the pace then of Matthew Etherington. Etherington, another of those who was on the bench last weekend at Middlesbrough. Goals against Fulham and against Newcastle United, two games that West Ham won. Foden. Here's Bowen. Firm challenge by Cahill. It's Bellamy. Claiming a handball. Mark Halsey right up with play then.
There's a claim there, wasn't there, from Craig Bellamy?
Mark Halsey perfectly placed then to see whether or not Bellamy's shot has struck an arm. Here's Etherington, just on as a substitute and eager to make an impression. Bellamy's shot may well have struck Osman on the arm. And Ichibi. Sahar continuing his run into the penalty area. Here's Cahill. There's a magnificent block by Faubert.
Brilliant defending by Faubert. It's a midfielder who slipped into that fullback position, but it was great defending.
Ilunga. Now Sears. Bellamy. Etherington to his left. Bellamy wanted to do it all on his own, and this time the decision has gone West Ham's way. Osman disbelieving he was involved with the suspected handball when Bellamy's shot was
he took his time
into the penalty area.
Sorry, Tony, he took his time, Mark Halsey there, waited, but made the right decision. Bellamy got away from Phil Neville and got taken out. That's a good decision there by Mark Halsey to award the free kick just outside the edge of the area.
Howard looking for further protection. Parker has stepped away. Happy to leave this to Bellamy. It is Bellamy. Couldn't quite get the ball over that top of the Everton defensive wall. And this time Howard is untroubled.
Set pieces have been disappointing. This time Bellamy has got the quality to get it up and over the wall. Unfortunately gets it all wrong. I'm sure Tony, David Moyes will be quite happy in some ways. He'll probably say there were similar performances in their last two 1-0 wins. It's much of the same. They've defended generally quite well. It's still 0-0. And now feel there's got to be a moment of quality that comes from their offensive players.
Everton have left it late in their last two games. Two 1-0 successes. Managed to keep West Ham out so far. Neville with the throw. Looking for Sarr. Out by Parker. Here's Fauba. Good recovery by Fauba, but although he was able to get the ball away from Osborne, he just helped it onto Arteta. Cahill. And again by Arteta. Much too high for Zaha.
Just feel with the quality of players that Everton have in their ranks that they must sooner or later provide some pressure, provide some chances for Louis Zaha. Will they be able to take it?
Neville again with the long throw. Needs to be under that this time. Once more with Collins. There is an Ichibi again. In by Neville. Strong challenge by Collins. Cahill and Appy.
Strong challenge, but a good challenge. I don't think he's going to give a penalty for that there.
Etherington. Parker. Now Collison! Magnificent from West Ham. Best move of the game has produced a goal for Jack Collison. Freddie Sayers went so close for West Ham in the first half, but now another of Gianfranco Zola's youngsters has made the breakthrough. It's the substitute Jack Collison.
They argue for a penalty at one end. West Ham don't rest on their laurels. Brilliant play by Sayers, and the finish from Collison is exceptional. It is Scott Parker who flicks it back with a great bit of skill, and the finish is unerring right into the top corner. Gives Tim Howard no chance, and it's what West Ham have deserved. They've been the better side, and the finish was exceptional.
Jack Collison, his first Premier League goal for West Ham United. Zaha now.
It's a good reply. They go up the other end, and it's Zaha with the strike. It's a great goal by Collison. Composure and the ability to find that top corner was exceptional.
Collison, who featured just a couple of times in the Premier League last season. Welsh international who was part of the Welsh under-21 team that did so well in trying to qualify for the European Championships next summer, losing out in a playoff to England and narrowly losing out 5-4 on aggregate. But what a goal, his first ever Premier League goal.
It's not a bad one, is it, Tony? Good to see young players coming up through the ranks and performing to that kind of level in the Premier League. It's a great way to get off the mark.
I mentioned earlier on that Everton have certainly tightened up defensively, and it needed something special to ensure that Tim Howard was beaten again, and now Everton are making a change. 17-year-old Jack Rodwell is going off to be replaced by another youngster who made an impression at 16, James Vaughan. Been so unfortunate with injuries in the past couple of years, but a further attacking threat here from Everton.
It is, and he's a hard-working threat. He's got good quality also. You knew that David Moyes would have a plan B. I'm sure he knows his team haven't performed to the standard required, and now he might adjust to a 4-4-2.
Of course, there is some speculation as to who the new owners of West Ham will be following the problems which the Icelandic group currently in charge have had of late. Empty seats in the director's box at Upton Park. There's been talk of maybe West Ham being sold on yet again because of the financial problems in Iceland. In the middle of that group you can see Carlos Queiroz, the current Portuguese coach. Sears. On by Bellamy, looking for Etherington. Ilunga. Arteta. Here's Lescott. Nichibik. The substitute is pushed up alongside Sahab. Nichibik's run went unchecked. He's done well to find Lescott. 5 waiting, the cross was a poor one.
They've been leggy, haven't they, this Everton side today? Sure, Robert Green can't believe how little he has had to do today. I'm sure he'll be tested now that Everton are looking for this equaliser.
Smile at last from Gianfranco Zola. Haven't been too many of those of late. Desperate run of form for West Ham, but as the manager has said, his team haven't been playing that badly. Vaughan. Osman in the middle, joined now by Lescott. Cahill's cross. The winger got there just ahead of Vaughan. Just put sufficient pressure on to ensure that Green was untroubled. Further. Bellamy was being held back then by Lescott.
Lescott knows he's going to be done for pace down the side there. Craig Bellamy pushes it and opens his legs. Lescott puts an arm across.
Bellamy looking far sharper after his long spell on the sidelines. It's a yellow card for Julian Lescott. Faubert then with the free kick. Out by Osman. And as far as Parker. Etherington. And again towards Etherington. Shout for a handball as well there from West Ham. As the goal scorer Collison, who was just trying to nick that pass forward. Here's Collins. Bowen. Now Neil. Collison. Collison once more, happy to take responsibility, looking very comfortable now in the centre of that West Ham midfield. Playing with real confidence. Who can blame him after that goal? Parker. Stumble there by Parker, and he was just caught by Osman.
Seems to have run off that injury well. Scott Parker performed very well in the midfield. Collins is another one for me. He's been exceptional at the back. Won everything in both areas and defended very well whenever Everton have offered any kind of threat.
Parker. Out by Yoba. Parker pushed in the back there by Saha.
It's been a story of their performance. Everton giving away cheap, silly free kicks. This time it's Louis Saha.
David Moyes and Everton -3 regulars. One of them Yakubu, although Yakubu has gone 9 games without a goal. Here's Faubert. Neville's clearance. Cahill looking for Vaughan. And by Collison. Faubert. Sears. Now Bellamy. It's Bellamy with a shot. Howard had it covered. Well, the goalkeeper was stretched then by that Craig Bellamy attempt.
Good combination play again, wasn't it, from Sears and Bellamy? It's been there throughout the game.
Here's Arteta. And Ichibi with support from Neville. There's one occasion when Everton needed the ball into the penalty area early because there were options there. In by Neville. Sahar up. Everton claiming the corner kick, but it will be a goal kick.
It's a frustrating afternoon for him, hasn't it, Louis Sahar? We know he's a top-quality Premier League player. He just wants a run of games, just to get that sharpness, get his confidence back in his game. We know there's a player in there.
Everton at the moment finding goals hard to come by. The injured Yakubu hasn't scored in any of his last 9 games. It's just 1 in 9 as well for Saho. They signed from Manchester United. Andy Garrett, the assistant on the near side, gave the throw to West Ham then. Mark Halsey decided to award Everton the free kick. It's one which Jagielka will take. Everton can't really afford to be subtle now. Lescott with a header on, and it's drifted right the way through. Lescott with a touch, and it was Vaughan who was coming in behind.
It wasn't a fair battle. Lescott against Faubert. He's got the height advantage, gets it into a great area. And somehow it just eludes James Vaughan. He tries to gamble, he tries to get on the end of it. Unfortunately, he can't make contact, because if he makes any kind of contact, it's got to be 1-1.
Lescott, who was such a threat from set plays for Everton last season. 8 goals he scored. Faubert there on the edge of the penalty area, just blocking off Vaughan, and Vaughan is clearly unhappy.
There's no shrinking violet, James Vaughan. He's going to battle, and he might get a little talking to. He's got to be careful. He wants to make an impact. Wants to make an impact for his manager, David Moyes. It's been a disappointing Everton performance so far. He's pushing himself, throwing himself about. Faubert defends well, does his job properly.
See Mark Halsey, the referee, mouthing the words, "They're coming together," and there was no more than that. Vaughan focused on the ball. Faubert racing back to cover any potential Everton threat.
Epitomises James Vaughan there, chases a lost cause, gains a corner for his team.
Everton again packing the West Ham penalty area. Rodwell missed from close in from a corner kick. Rodwell now off, substituted. Halsey keeping an eye on Cahill. Arteta also keeping an eye on what's happening inside the penalty area. Delivery is good once more, and it has been put behind for a corner kick again. It was Bowyer back there.
It was well defended in the end. I'm not sure how much He knows of this. I think it's Collins, not Bowyer. Collins defends well in the end.
And by Arteta once more. Off the goal line by Green. Had plenty of protection on the goal line. Arteta once more. Green back in position. A roar of relief from the West Ham United supporters. And a roar of approval as well for the throw out to Matthew Etherington. Parker sprinting forward in support. And here is Parker. It's a West Ham corner now, end to end.
Etherington picks up possession, then it becomes 4v3, cuts across. Everton get back in numbers eventually, and it's well defended in the end.
Etherington, short to Bellamy. Back with Etherington. Bellamy again. Angle is right for the cross. Collins is there. Another corner to West Ham. Lescott watchful.
What a beautiful ball by Bellamy. He was just asking somebody to go on and get on the end of it. Collins doesn't disappoint, tries to get on the end of it, but it's well defended in the end by Joleon Lescott.
Etherington to whip this in left-footed. Out by Saha, and as far as Parker. Bowyer. Here's Bellamy. And again to Etherington. West Ham in front, but Everton felt that they might have had a penalty. Certainly Tim Cahill thought that Everton should have had a penalty.
It's a ball into the box by Phil Neville. And Collins does what he's done throughout the game. He's aggressive, he wins it well. Cahill makes a meal of the challenge. But West Ham don't worry about that. They got the other end. And it's an exceptional finish by Collison. He announces himself to the Premier League.
Here's Sears. Sears overshadowed in this second half by Collison. A question of margins, tight margins at times. Sears frustrated when his attempt in the first half was tipped away by Tim Howard, tipped onto the crossbar. Jack Collison will make all the headlines tomorrow morning with that tremendous opening Premier League goal.
It's a reward to Zola in terms of playing these young players, playing open, expansive football with players that are comfortable in possession, and they've shown that throughout the game.
Parker. Alunga. And again by Bowyer. Howard's out swiftly and gets there just ahead of Bellamy.
And emphasises the point about this great play of West Ham today. All 1- and 2-touch passing, all knowing where one another are on the field. Unfortunately, this time it doesn't end with a goal.
Full credit to Gianfranco Zola, despite the defeats that West Ham have suffered in recent weeks. West Ham still playing with a bit of style.
And there's the little bit of steel, the challenge, clash of legs, a tangle of legs there between Etherington and Neville. Probably slightly fortuitous for Everton to get a free kick from that.
It's quite an aerial threat inside that West Ham penalty area. First, Mark Halsey will finish his lecture to Matthew Etherington.
I think the lecture's going to end with a yellow card as well. I can't believe it's got to be for arguing. It's got to be he's questioned his discipline and respecting referees there, and that's why he receives a yellow card.
Arteta waits. Arteta waits and will now deliver. Eased away by Fowler. Another whip ball in, and one which has been well dealt with this time by Bowyer.
It has, and for every ball that's been whipped in there, Everton may have the taller side, but they've defended the crosses very well. Whenever questions have been asked, they've dealt with it.
There's that one header from Jack Rodwell which just skimmed the outside of a post. West Ham know that they need to keep their resolve and their concentration, keep their nerve now as they defend this Arteta corner kick. Firm punch away by Green. Jagielka. Helped away by Collison. Here's Osman. Now Sarr. Lescott stayed forward. It's Lescott. Julian Lescott with his first goal in the Premier League this season. Everton level. Another late show from David Moyes' team. Late goals in their last two games have produced two wins. This has produced the equaliser. Terrific ball in by Zaha, and what a header by Julian Lescott.
It's a good, incisive pass from Leon Osman. He's allowed to turn too easily, Louis Zaha. But when he's allowed to turn in yards of space, maybe Scott Parker could have been closer, but it's a brilliant ball in and finished like a striker. Julian Lescott gives Green no chance.
Well, Julian Lescott, who's playing as a left-back for Everton, of course he can play in the central defence. Who knows, one day even a striker maybe. Magnificent header to make it 1-1. West Ham 1, Everton 1. Two outstanding goals, two very different goals. Collison with a curl shot, and the bullet header then from Julian Lescott.
It was brilliant finishing, Tony, wasn't it? And you can't say this Everton side deserve it, because West Ham have been the better side. And West Ham maybe could have deserved to be 2 ahead. Unfortunately for them, when you're always only 1-0 ahead, you can be clawed back so easily. And although Everton haven't performed to the best of their abilities, they gain that equaliser from a brilliant Julian Lescott header.
Here's the goal scorer. Lescott trying to pick out Osman. Osman with Fobet. Here's Zaha. Might get a second chance, but it's a chance which has been denied him there by Collins. Zaha! Deflected! And deflected in. What a turnaround. Louis Zaha will claim the goal. Waited 9 games for his first Everton goal, but make that now 2 in 2.
What a twist in the tale. Everton looking second best throughout this game, and in a matter of minutes they're ahead. Zaha with the strike, a fortuitous deflection, and Achibi just puts it into an area. Zaha doesn't take a second moment. He pulls the trigger and it deflects and goes in off the far post. Zaha celebrates. I'm sure Everton can't believe they're 2-1 ahead, but they'll take it.
And believe it or not, Everton were poised to make a substitution before that went in. And Anichebe was the player set to go off. David Moyes probably relieved that the change didn't happen a minute or two earlier.
The fine dividing line of football. Imagine if he made that substitution 30 seconds earlier. He's put in a great shift. Anichebe been involved in that second goal there. And that's why there'll be a pat on the head from his manager, David Moyes.
It's Leighton Baines who has come on in place of Victor Anichebe. Everton supporters who were biting their nails not that long ago. The faces are now wreathed in smiles. Extraordinary turnaround at Upton Park. David Di Michele coming on in place of Scott Parker, who's worked really hard for West Ham and worked hard for no reward, it would appear now. Zaha. Lescott. Fobo with the interception. Zaha again. He's got another one. Louis Zaha with a fabulous finish. West Ham backed off, and they couldn't afford to do that. Louis Zaha has got his second.
I alluded to it early in the second half. Says there's a quality Premier League striker in Louis Zaha. He just needs a run of games. This time he receives it 35 yards out, turns and pulls the trigger from 30 yards. And somehow it finds the far corner. There may be a question mark to Robert Green, but it's swerving and swirling all across the keeper's vision. And it's a great strike, and it also dips just as it goes into the net. And that's what Louis Zaha is about.
3 goals in 4 minutes. What a flurry of activity. Everton scoring twice through Louis Zaha after drawing level through Joleon Lescott. And Zaha's shot then took a deflection. He just took a nick off Collins on the way through. I think Green was beaten. 2 then for Louis Zaha. Lescott, who got Everton's equaliser. And just look at the gaps now emerging on the seats there behind Sears as he prepares to take this corner kick. West Ham heading for another defeat.
I have so much sympathy for them, don't you, Tony? They've performed so well.
Bellamy up.
But somehow they'll look at it and see themselves being 3-1 down, and they'll be pinching themselves. That's why the fans are leaving in droves, because they've been so good in possession. And Everton haven't offered lots in this game, but what they have offered are defining moments, and they've taken advantage of those defining moments and been the more clinical finishers.
Franco Zola, who's got his beliefs, he wants West Ham to play fluid and attractive football. And after taking the lead here against Everton, he must have thought that their disappointing spell was about to come to an end. A draw last weekend against Middlesbrough on the back of 4 defeats would make that now 5 defeats in 6. 1 point from 6 games as well. Won't be a struggle to leave Upton Park tonight, because the ground is emptying so fast. It's only really the Everton fans who are staying on.
It's Premier League life, isn't it, Tony? I'm sure Zola was so happy with the first half performance, and then definitely in the second half they get rewarded going 1-0 ahead, and the game has been turned on its head. And also we have to say it's when David Moyes has gone 4-4-2.
Ilunga. McKennie up.
The inclusion of James Vaughan playing alongside Zaha, giving him that little bit of help. He's provided some infectious enthusiasm up that front line. Zaha has provided the quality.
3 extra minutes we'd have. An illuminating board just underlining the fact that Everton have also scored 3 goals in quick fire time. Louis Zaha, who's going off. Late goal to get the winner against one of his former clubs, Fulham, last weekend. He scored then with 3 minutes to go.
Not a bad day's work, son. He sets up the goal for Lescott and 2 for himself.
Tony Hibbert has come on as Zaha's replacement. Everton had such a disjointed start to their season. David Moyes, who didn't dip into the transfer market until just before the August window closed. His team have taken some time to find their feet again in the Premier League after their 5th place finish last season. Took some time to find their feet in this fixture as well. West Ham having the upper hand, going in front. But Everton, who finished so strongly.
Many years of experience, isn't it? David Moyes, what is he, the 3rd longest service manager in the Premier League. He knows what it's all about. He's made decisions, he's made changes in the second half. His team have performed much better, and it's worked for him.
2002, when David Moyes arrived at Everton from Preston North End. Year on year, Everton have been able to make progress. Bellamy. What about the response from the West Ham United supporters as well?
It's disappointing, isn't it, because they've performed ever so well. They've been entertaining, they've played with a cutting edge, they had the lead, but unfortunately from there on in, it's gone horribly wrong for them.
Forward by Kaya. Mark Halsey's had another look at his watch. 3 extra minutes we were to have at the end of this second half. It is a further defeat for West Ham United. 5 defeats in their last 6 games. 6 games without a win. It's a run which has produced just 1 point for Gianfranco Zola's team. They had the lead here, a marvellous goal by Jack Collison, who had to come on as a first-half substitute in place of the injured Matthew Upson. But Everton drawing level late on. Jolyon Lescott with his first Premier League goal of the season, having been set up by Louis Saha. And 2 late goals as well for Saha to underline Everton's improvement. 4 games undefeated now for David Moyes' team. They've left it late again, as they did against both Fulham and Bolton. But it's Everton who return to Merseyside with 3 points. At Upton Park it is finished. West Ham United 1, Everton 3.